The American President Joe Biden has vowed for the very first time to stop sending Israel weapons if the Israeli forces launch a full-scale invasion, a ground invasion of Rafah, a city in the southern part of the Gaza Strip that is packed with the Palestinian refugees whose homes have been bombed and they've been expelled from their homes. But what's the reason for Biden's warning to Bibi? Our next poll gets you more details.
Smoke is rising from the strikes in Gaza's crowded southern city of Rafah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls it the last stronghold of Hamas. Israeli tanks have rolled inside the area, ignoring multiple pleas by world leaders. The images are distressing. Injured Palestinians being rushed to the Kuwait hospital after Israel bombarded Rafah. The hospitals are overwhelmed, and the new injured keep coming in.
The Israeli army struck us with 2 missiles without prior warning. This is a criminal act. 8 people were martyred. Among them were little children who had nothing to do with anything.
In an interview to CNN, the US President Joe Biden acknowledged that American bombs given to Israel have killed civilians in Gaza. The comments came hours after Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed that the US paused a planned delivery of thousands of heavy bombs.
So we've been very clear, Senator, as you know, from the very beginning that Israel shouldn't launch a major attack into Rafah without accounting for and protecting the civilians that are in that battle space. And again, as we have assessed the situation, we paused one shipment of high payload munitions.
The US is by far Israel's biggest supplier of weapons. Last month, it sent $26 billion in extra funding for the country. The Biden administration is also worried of the consequences of violating international and US laws designed to spare civilians from the horrors of war. Blocking of aid by the US also raises questions on how Israel will continue its 3-pronged offensive against neighboring states and enemies like the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Iran-backed proxies, and the airstrikes from Syria and Iraq. There is also Iran. Last time when Iran launched missiles and drones, it was the US and the UK that shielded and protected Israel. Hopes now hinge on the Cairo talks, where delegations from Hamas, Israel, the US, Egypt and Qatar are meeting since Tuesday. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And we earlier spoke with Dr. Avner Cohen. He's a professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies at the Milbury Institute of International Studies at Monterey. Listen to what he had to say.
I think it's the assertion of President Biden came a little bit, my sense, stronger than what it meant. I thought it was meant to be a yellow card, using the soccer terminology. In other words, providing Israel a tangible, concrete warning referring to very 2 specific types. And it's not a huge amount, but some amounts of ammunition that was on its way, it's being suspended. My sense is that Israel did understand the American messages. As of now, Israel is engaged in a very limited operation around the crossing, the Rafah crossing, which is the border junction between Palestine, between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, which is about 2.5 or 3 kilometers from Rafah, the town, the city, and Israel has not yet moved to the city at this point. I also understand that if Israel would do a stronger operation towards the city, it intends to do it in tactics and methods quite different than it used to in the last few months in Khan Yunis in Gaza, and to be very much concerned about civilian casualties. So I think that the American messages have been absorbed, understood, and to a large extent internalized in a quiet way by the Israeli military and political leaders.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.